We will now consider how we can plan and devise more informed suggestions to pass on to the positive elements in our unconscious mind. Most people beginning to learn self-hypnosis are sure that they know what suggestions they wish to make. In most cases, they are wrong. They know what they wish to achieve, but very few know the best suggestions to use to bring about what they desire. At the beginning of this course, I told the story of how Arjuna received unexpected help and how by making suggestions similar to those I prescribed at the end of the last session, unexpected aid will come from the unconscious mind. If we enlist its aid, it will show us opportunities we have not previously seen. It will show us hidden obstacles and how they can be avoided. It will show us how to alter our attitude towards unalterable circumstances. It will quicken hope, free enthusiasms, and inspire us. But we must not, like Arjuna, let courage make us so cocksure that we think we can order the unconscious mind about. This cannot be done, but we can get its cooperation. An excellent example of a good strategical approach in using suggestion techniques was the case of a man who, although he never achieved any real depth of trance, cured himself of nervous tensions, fears, indifferent health, poor memory, and gained promotion. He had been employed for many years as a clerk, though his knowledge and experience of the business fitted him for a far better position. Following the instructions in the course, he began by employing suggestions. He says, I am going to use my abilities to the full. I am not going to be a slave to ill health. I am going to rid myself of whatever it is that holds me back. I am going to lose this nervousness. I want the courage to see if I am creating difficulties for myself. If I am, I will find some way of dealing with them. I am going to get on at my work. He carried on with these suggestions for some days. Then one night he had a strange dream. He dreamed that one of the directors of his business was coming towards him with a check in his hand, and he, the dreamer, turned and ran away from this director, feeling very much afraid. Then he began to notice that at business he was very tense whenever this director came into the office. He began to realize that unconsciously he was very much afraid of this director, and that this was the underlying reason for his mediocre performance at business. Unconsciously, he was avoiding responsibility and promotion, which would have brought him under this director's immediate supervision. He continued with his suggestions and soon discovered that the director's appearance was reminiscent of a school teacher who had bullied him unmercifully at school. Once this hidden cause of his tensions and fears came to consciousness, he began to see the nature of the conflict and how he had previously been fighting to repress his fears and tensions. Once he saw the real underlying cause of his difficulties, he carried on with self-diagnostic suggestions, and day by day the energies which had been absorbed and repressed fears were freed. He felt strangely relieved, and his suggestions, I know I can do a better job, had a ring of truth which would not have been the case had he begun with parrot-like suggestions of, I have 1% confidence. If he had used short-sighted suggestions, then he would have repressed his fears and would have been fighting his unconscious mind instead of getting its cooperation. As will be seen in this example, the all-important point is to gain the cooperation of the unconscious mind by choosing the right suggestions and, if necessary, altering them. Do not try to rush matters. If results are going to come quickly, nothing will stop them. But to build up hopes of results immediately leaves one open to disappointment. The strategy I recommend is that the individual says to himself, I will do my best to keep up regular practice. If I can only improve 1% a day, I will not grumble, but I am going to get the cooperation of my unconscious mind as soon as I can. One thing is certain, I'm going to deal with this, state your own problem. I'm going to go on with it until I succeed and the job is finished. By adopting this attitude, emotional ups and downs will be avoided and in consequence more rapid progress made. Another important point in planning is to remember that we do not consciously invent or make up the suggestions. It is true we become aware of them in our conscious minds, but the desire for peace of mind, health and happiness all spring from the unconscious mind. They are the desires of the unconscious, and if it is approached with sincerity and patience, it will allow man to tap energies he never dreamed he possessed, carry out feats which seemed impossible, and cure complaints which had been regarded as hopeless. By becoming conscious of the contradictory impulses from within and the influence from the outside world, and seeing and strengthening those which will enable us to achieve what we want the power to control ourselves is acquired. We are enabled to achieve these desired changes in ourselves because we can create, for a short time, the mental images and thoughts of the things we wish to achieve. In this way, we can alter our lives by building new habits and attitudes and thus redirect the elemental energy of the instincts to the purposes of the will. In life, until a man has achieved some knowledge of self, he stands at a crossroad. Ahead of him lie two divergent roads. One leads toward the things he fears and dreads, whilst the other is the road to which he can reach his ideals, his hopes, and his higher aspirations. This is what Freud meant when he said that each man could reach heights he had never dreamed of, and could fall to depths he had never imagined. The framing of a man's suggestions are chosen from the things that he hopes, wishes, and desires, and as soon as he begins consciously and consistently to practice self-suggestions, he begins to move positively and with certainty towards the things he most desires, and to leave his fears behind him. Suggestions in the beginning can be of a very general nature. All that is necessary is that they are sincere, and the more simple and uncomplicated, the better. A number of specimen suggestions are now given. They begin with suggestions which are designed to strengthen the resolution of the individual to continue the task he has begun in studying this course and to achieve his objectives. I will remember to carry out my exercises. I will make steady progress. I want to become more and more enthusiastic about altering my life. Every time I read or practice, I will do my very best to make progress. I am willing to make whatever changes may be necessary in my life to attain what I desire. Each day I will work to be more self-possessed and surer of myself. I want to get a bird's eye view of my life and see what is essential to my happiness and success. I will observe and be pleased with my successes, and I will learn from any setbacks. I will alter what is within my power to alter, and will change my attitude towards those things which I cannot change. My patience will increase every day, and things that used to disturb me will leave me unmoved. I shall not talk, think, or let my mind dwell on unpleasant, morbid subjects. I shall direct my thoughts towards pleasant things and the sort of individual I should like to be. I shall be on my guard against what I know to be my weaknesses. I will see my past mistakes and I will avoid repeating them in the future. I will begin to see more clearly the obstacles which are preventing me from obtaining happiness, health, and peace of mind, and how they may be overcome. If I suffer any disappointments or reverses, this will not shake my faith in myself or in the power of suggestion. I am going to be able to concentrate and to think more clearly. I am going to be able to remember things more easily. My memory will be more retentive. My self-control and self-possession and confidence is going to grow steadily. I am going to develop mental poise and peace of mind. My ability to control my mental and emotional life is growing. I am going to enjoy better health and have more energy. Every day I will observe myself, and every day I will try to learn something. I am going to be less tense and find it easier to relax. I'm going to be more tolerant with other people and try to understand their difficulties.